Now, the trial of two Colorado police officers charged in the death of Elijah McClain, who died after an encounter with authorities while he was walking home from a store 4 years ago. Kana Whitworth has the latest for us. Good morning, Kana.
Robin, good morning. So this trial is now underway after the local prosecutor initially declined to bring charges. The governor then hiring a special prosecutor who re-examined the case and indicted the officers and first responders nearly 2 years later. This morning, prosecutors laying out their case against two Denver area police officers they say were involved in the death of Elijah McClain.
Evidence in this case will show beyond a reasonable doubt that both of these defendants are guilty of both of these crimes.
Randy Rodema and Jason Rosenblatt, both charged with criminally negligent homicide, assault, and manslaughter following that fatal night in August of 2019. Officers responding to a call about a sketchy person wearing a ski mask.
I am an introvert. Please respect the boundaries that I am speaking. I'm so sorry. I have no gun. I don't do that stuff. I don't do any fighting.
That incident escalating with the 23-year-old McClain in a chokehold. McClain struggling to breathe. Paramedics arriving at the scene and injecting McClain with what ended up being a lethal dose of the powerful sedative ketamine. He died several days later. Prosecutors arguing McClain would still likely be alive today had it not been for the officers' use of force. Attorneys for the defendants, meanwhile, maintaining their innocence.
Just because a tragedy occurred here does not mean nor translate that Mr. Rodema engaged in criminal activity.
McClain's family is speaking to ABC News shortly after the charges were filed.
I've been praying for all of it. It's what I wanted. My son fought for his life and died for his life.
The jurors in this particular case, what essentially they're being asked to determine is whether or not these officers perceived that their behavior was such a gross deviation from the reasonable standard of care, and that resulted in a death.
Right, and reiterating there what one of those lawyers said, that just because a tragedy occurred doesn't mean a criminality occurred. And he placed the blame on the paramedics. They have their trial along with a third officer set to take place later this year. Guys.